What is up? What is up? We are back in the building again. They didn't cut the lights off this time. They didn't cut them off. The motherfuckers is working. You gotta pay your power bill. God damn. What is going on? You already know what it is. It's getting cold in the motherfucker outside. We are back black. I guess they would say blessed and highly favored, I guess, if that's what you believe in. If you pray to the ancestors, then you would be happy about that. I'm still on a mission. I got to get Dirty Bookman's prayer, get it all typed up real nice, frame that shit, get a picture of Dirty Bookman, because that's what you should be praying to. So shout out to everybody that understands what Dirty Bookman was about. And that motherfucker was like, the white man asked them to commit crimes against us. That is not the God we fuck with. But anyway, shout out to everybody that's handling business. Again, of course, if you're at that court plantation for now, be thankful, I guess. Motherfucking shutdown about to come in a minute. Motherfuckers frowning and looking at the court. Look, niggas talk all that shit about the court plantation. Niggas gonna be like, I's glad I got the job. I's glad to be working, boss. I's tell right for you, boss. I do whatever you need, boss. Shout out to everybody that's thankful that they are employed, but understand that this economy, it takes its ups and its downs. So you got to take the good with the bad. So you got to understand what it is. Shout out to everybody that's so happy that the Los Angeles Lakers won the championship. You feel like you've made a whole bunch of money, but you haven't. So shout out to motherfuckers that think outside the box and understand what it is. Shout out to, motherfuckers that get on the court plantation, and do their job, and go the fuck on. Shout out to them. And I would say we always got to be thankful for the motherfuckers that hate. They got 24 hours in a day just like you, but they spend 75% of their 24 hours worried about what the fuck you doing. So shout out to them nosy ass niggas. And shout out to motherfucking finessing ass niggas too that will finesse you out of 25 cent, 50 cent, $1, 50, $2, $5, and $10. And then they work their way up to 15 and 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 to the point where they get to, hey man, let me hold $100. That type of shit. So shout out to those motherfuckers. Shout out to all my people that's reading. I'm gonna get into some shit today, man. I was Twitter warned like a motherfucker. Thumbs of America. Motherfuckers gonna try to tell me that the Irish and the Chinamen built this country. So we gonna get into that shit today. I stay going in on Twitter. And I have to tell these motherfuckers, you need to read Slavery by Another Name by Douglas Blackman. How they give you that farce that the Chinamen built the railroads. Man, the Chinamen finished the shit we already started. And they barely did that. Like the Chinamen could survive in those harsh weather conditions. You better go read Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. Fuck out of here. So shout out to motherfuckers with this misinformation shit. We gotta go through and decipher that shit and be like, nah, you're misinforming the fucking people. So stop it with the bullshit. Shout out to everybody that understands how misinformation could destroy a community if they're not wise enough and I would say capable enough to have some type of understanding. Because as the Bible says, in all I get and get an understanding. So shout out to our motherfuckers that understand what it is and where we're going. Yeah, I'm about to look up my Twitter shit too. Ain't nobody responded. I was going in on their asses. And I'm going to read you some of this shit. I'm going to go through and read some of it so y'all can understand what it is. But I got it pulled up right now. But I'm going to go through the shit, man, because this is how people think. And it's our job to re-educate people the right way. And I'm not talking about debate, re-educate. Always throw a book out there. Always let them know what it is, because motherfuckers, most people are deaf, dumb, and blind and don't understand what education is about. They think education is going to a 4-year college and being indoctrinated in their belief system. No, educating yourself is educating yourself on the world, how it works, how has it been working in history, and how it relates to right now. Because let them tell it, they will Greekify Egypt and Arabnize the shit and make it seem like the Arabs are responsible for the pyramids and not black folk. But those Arabs, which mean wanderers, know who the fuck we are and what the fuck we have done for this country. That's why the Arabs and every other racial group, because Arab is not a race. Arab means nomad, which means wanderer. So let's get that straight. But we gotta put that shit out there, man. So shout out to everybody that's really on top of the education and trying to re-educate yourself and understand how this matrix works. Because this system is nothing but the matrix. They'll just destroy it and rebuild it like they've already done. Go watch the movie. So shout out to everybody that's understanding what it is. Oh, and last but not least, shout out to the motherfuckers that's Steve from Django telling about the gun line boss, Hayward Shepherd ass, dry snitching motherfuckers that think that's the only way that they can be successful is by telling on another nigga and kissing ass and becoming a Sambo for the system and being an agent provocateur and going against your own. Because let me tell you, these police officers, whether they're white or black, they're not gonna go against another police officer. And I'm tired of black folk going out of their way to join law enforcement thinking that they're gonna do something different and they do all of the same. So stop it, I don't wanna hear it. Hey. All right, now we about to get into it, man. Yeah, man. A lot of shit to discuss, but we about to get right into it. I was reading and researching about the Omaha Police Department shooting and killing Kenneth Jones. And now they trying to police explain and go through all this bullshit when in actuality, this is the new police reform. This is Joe Biden's police reform. This is Donald Trump. The same shit. This is what y'all finna be dealing with the next 4 years. Whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden. The difference is they're gonna hide behind, oh, we're Democrats. But y'all voted. So now we're gonna see what y'all shit got. I'm about to hop right into it. Before I do, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm gonna keep doing podcasts about this shit over and over again so people will get the point that this shit is not going away. So y'all can think that it's going away, but it's not. Motherfuckers jumping from joy because motherfucking the Lakers won. Let me tell you who won. Not LeBron and the rest of those Lakers. Jeannie Buss and her family won. And everybody else is just partaking in the success of that ownership. As they used the celebrity and the black celebrity of Magic Johnson to get LeBron James over there to win them more rings so they can make more money. That's all they did. And that's exactly what white folks did. They claim they love Magic Johnson. Oh, we love you so much. Okay, if you love him so much, then why would you allow Rob Pelinka to start so much shit where Magic Johnson was like, I quit. I don't even want to deal with this shit because I don't want to mess up the relationships that I have with the Busses. I would have been like, fuck them. Fuck those relationships. They don't give a fuck about people. This is a whole bunch of bullshit going on. But I get it. I don't expect Magic Johnson or Jordan or anybody to do anything different because this is how it goes. And there's always some white man who is envious of a black man who gets his rocks off by controlling and trying to control his narrative. And since you couldn't control Magic Johnson's narrative, you just talk a whole bunch of shit about him. This is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all better understand what the fuck it is. And if y'all think that these things are going to change, you guys are sadly fucking mistaken. None of this shit is going to change at all. Y'all motherfuckers think this shit is going to change. And, oh, yeah, it's going to change. And, you know, man, stop. Shit is not going to fucking change. Not at all. You like, oh, well, why it's not going to change? Let me tell you why it's not going to change. The reason why it's not going to change is because these are laws that are put in place to keep niggas like us behind the line. So why would they change it? They never gonna change the shit. So I don't understand why people jumping for joy. Oh, Joe Biden. And then in the back, while you jumping for joy for Joe Biden, they in the back killing all these niggas. Where the LGBTQ community at? Where is all these Black Lives Matter people at? You know why? Because there's so many goddamn killings, they can't keep up with them. And they don't give a fuck because they want national attention. And if it ain't national attention, they don't want to hear about it. Well, Omaha, Nebraska is some racist shit too going on out there. So if you don't think it's look, anti-black racism and racism, white supremacy is all over the United States of America. It's all over the world because of white folk. So I understand why people think that it's gonna stop and it's gonna change. Okay, if it's gonna change, then show me that it's gonna change. Hey, what's going on, Josh? I see you. Here, I'm about to play this video right now and watch this cop white-splain. And let's see how he gets out of this. Let's get into it. I'm interested to see. See, I don't like to watch the whole video because I want to watch it live with everybody else and hear the audio so I can commentate live so I can kind of project and see and speculate what they're going to say next. So let's see. Let's see.
We are here today to provide an accounting of the officer-involved shooting that took place on November 19th.
So basically, I'm here to translate to y'all what we're about to say because what we're saying is some fuckery. And there's really nothing you can do about it. And I'm only up here speaking is because we don't want no riots and we don't want no unnecessary attention drawn to our state and our city. So we rather just come out here and kind of get ahead of the curve before the curve gets ahead of us. That's translation. And I'm a white police officer and I'm the chief. And not only am I blue blood first, I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas. But I'm just going to be up here because this is my job.
I want to start by reiterating my comments of condolences to the family of Kenneth Jones.
Now all of a sudden they apologizing. The only reason why I think they apologize is because they know they don't want their city to be put on blast for all the bullshit that they got going on. I'm pretty sure. First of all, let's keep this straight. It's Omaha, Nebraska. What the fuck do y'all think is out there besides the goddamn college and a whole bunch of good old boys that can't stand niggas? I don't even know why niggas is out there in the first place. You shouldn't even be the fuck out there at all.
And all community members that may be affected by this event. Since a grand jury will be called in this case, the release of the video and other evidence will be made public after the grand jury. So the body camera footage will be released for sure.
After we manipulate the body cam footage and edit it the way we want everybody to see it, then we'll present it. Because what makes me think y'all are no different from Rahm Emanuel? Y'all know who Rahm Emanuel is. That's Barack Obama's boy, who was the mayor of Chicago when Laquan McDonald got gunned down by that white race soldier. And then they held the footage. They withheld the footage because Rahm Emanuel said, don't put that footage out there. I'm trying to be reelected for fucking mayor. So they withheld the fucking information and the fucking video camera footage, went around to all the businesses that had any camera footage of that shit, made them delete the shit. And then what ended up happening was there was a fellow race soldier that felt so fucking bad. He said, no, Laquan McDonald was not a threat. My life was not in danger, and he should not have shot Laquan McDonald. Because he felt so fucking bad, because he knew, like, fuck, man. We just straight gunned that motherfucker down. Yeah, and you notice they ain't talked about Laquan McDonald since at all. So why the fuck would I believe anywhere else, especially somewhere like Omaha, Nebraska? Stop.
And I support its release. On Thursday, November 19th, 2020, at 7:25 p.m., Officer Martier, who was driving, and Officer Faulkner, the passenger officer, said they were traveling south on 27th Street by Stratford Square Apartments when they saw Dodge Charger southbound on 27th Street, stopped in the middle of the road. The officer said they watched as the vehicle would drive forward a couple feet and stop, and then drive forward again. Both officers thought the driver might be impaired.
Okay, whether he was impaired or not, so you just gun him down? That's one. And two, Officer Martier and Faulkner, two white supremacists. One's probably an honorary white supremacist who probably, maybe he's Latino, maybe who, it doesn't matter. They all claim Caucasian. See, like I said, I was watching 60 Days In, and there was a brother that was Puerto Rican. Oh, we Chicano. And it's so funny because then, like, we want to all claim black until it's not convenient for us to claim it anymore. See, black folks can't do that because I was watching how they broke it down in fucking prison. Oh, you Chicano? Oh, I'm Chicano. But my thing is, well, I thought you were Puerto Rican. If you Puerto Rican, you for black folk. You know what I mean? But I guess it's different when you go into the penal system. I don't know. It's just so funny that everyone will claim black when it's convenient for you. Then when there's a little bit of inconvenience, it's like, oh, I'm not black. I'm Puerto Rican. Oh, I'm not this, I'm that. Hey, I'm not saying that, hey, there are some people that's like Fat Joe that's like, no, nigga, I'm black. the fuck out of here. But there's a lot of motherfuckers that's like, they like to tap into that blackness when it is so convenient for them and it's beneficial for them. But when it's not beneficial, oh, I'm not like the black, I Puerto Rican. See, we get that a lot. We get shit on a lot. Trust me. I've been around Puerto Ricans that like, nah, nigga, I'm black. Nigga, you got me fucked up. And then I've been around Puerto Ricans where they don't even associate themselves with black folk at all. And then you have the Puerto Rican women, like the bitch from the Basketball Wives shit, who get her rocks off of calling niggas monkeys and shit because she identifies with what they would like to call on the East Coast, the Spanish side. Well, I'm here to tell all you Puerto Ricans and Cubans and Dominicans and all this other shit. I'm going to tell you, first of all, you're not Spanish because you're not from Spain. I'm sorry, save the Spaniards for Cesare Borgia. They're from Spain, the Jesus Christ that you guys worship. Spaniards are Pau Gasol and Mark Gasol. Those are Spaniards. Those are white people, Europeans who speak Spanish. You are not white and you are not classified as a European, and any European that's from Spain that speaks Spanish, they would laugh at you to think that you could associate with them as far as race and creed. Stop. Like I'm going to say it one more time. If you are Puerto Rican and Dominican and Cuban and all, you are not Spanish. And I'm tired of people saying, I got a Spanish chick. You're not Spanish. You're not from Spain. You just speak their dialogue. You speak their dialect. That's it. You are not Spanish. You are not from Spain. You're not related to the Borgias. And you're damn for sure not related to Mark Gasol and the rest of his people. You're not related to them. If you are Puerto Rican, you are from Puerto Rico. You're not Spanish. And the reason why I'm saying this is because everybody wants to claim an identity of a racial group when it's convenient for them. And then when it's not convenient, Cardi B and the rest of her fucking family, then it's like, I'm not that, I'm Dominican, I'm this and I'm that. And it's like, we have to stop and call people to the floor right away. That's why I don't like people being around me, because I'm going to call you to the floor and be like, well, technically, because I've had to address some Puerto Ricans before, and I'm like, look, hold on. First of all, you're not Spanish. You just speak Spanish. So you got to nip that shit in the bud. That's like me saying, well, I'm Jamaican. Well, where were you born? United States of America. Nigga, you're not. Wait, what do you mean? Well, I got Jamaican blood. Yeah, but you're from the United States of America. You know, oh, okay, well, yeah, but some Jamaicans raised me. Yeah, you might speak their dialect, but you're not Jamaican, homie. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, you speak the same dialect, that doesn't mean, okay, we speak English, but we're not from England. You gotta start hitting motherfuckers where they stand, because they start playing all these fucking games. So I just want to nip that in the bud real quick.
I do want to point out right now from the start, we have no evidence the driver was impaired. We don't think she was. Everybody else in that car, all the females in the car, innocent in this matter. The officers exited the vehicle and ordered everyone to show their hands. They could see there were 4 people in the vehicle, and all but Jones complied. The officers could immediately see Jones reaching towards the floorboard. Officer Faulkner yelled to Officer Martier, "He's reaching." The officers drew.
Basically, he's giving us an excuse to shoot and kill him. Stop like a motherfucker. Gun. That's what they do to black people. Do y'all do that to white folk? I highly doubted that y'all doing it to white folk. You know why? Because police stereotypes. So they're going to be more likely when they pull up a white person, a Caucasian man, to kind of let him act the fool. That's why they took cops off the air. They didn't take cops off the air because they didn't like the negative connotation behind cops. No, they took it off the air because you start to see how fucked up white people are towards the police officers and how the police officers don't do shit to them. But the black folk, you're beating them up, jumping all on them, you're piling on, you're fucking handcuffing them, and he's all fucked up. And then a white person, they let white people smoke cigarettes, talk crazy to them. I done got pulled over with a white person. And trust and believe you me, it's a totally different experience when there's all niggas in the car. Trust and believe you me.
Their duty guns as they approached the car and gave loud verbal commands for everyone to show their hands. All but Jones complied. Officer Martier said Jones' body movement was indicative of him having or possibly having a firearm. Martier tried to open Jones' door, which was locked. Jones' window was partially down, and Martier yelled multiple times for him to open the door. Jones did not comply.
You notice they keep talking about how Jones did not comply. Why didn't y'all talk from y'all bullhorn and said, everybody step out of the car right now? Step out of the car. You didn't do that. You walked up to the car like you fucking Yosemite Sam and fucking with your guns fucking blazing, thinking shoot first. That was the last podcast. Shoot first. That's law enforcement. Shoot first, then ask questions. And then it's like, oh, well, my bad, we killed him. We thought he had a gun. The only way these police officers stop doing this, these race officers stop doing this bullshit is if they enact and mandate a law. All police officers, all law enforcement, if you shoot first and you kill someone and he's unarmed and there's witnesses, you're going to prison for 25 to life. You're losing your pension, your family gets nothing, and you're fucked. Then, guess what police officers going to start doing? Fuck that. I ain't shooting a motherfucker. I'm not going to lose my bread, my money. You got to hit people in the pocket. That's the only way they'll change. They're not going to change that shit because a motherfucker is talking about, oh, we're going to get a grand jury. Grand jury, all they're going to do is ask a bunch of dumb fucking questions, and they're going to make sure they pick people on the grand jury that's going to side with law enforcement.
Martier holstered his handgun and used his flashlight to break Jones' window and open the door. Jones slid towards the passenger side of the vehicle as Martier reached inside. Martier was able to get a hold of Jones and pull him out. The officers yelled hands or some variation of show me your hands.
Some variation of show me your hands. So you don't know what they yelled. Instead of you explaining, why don't you just play as the motherfucking cop footage? Like I said on Sunday, that footage, the camera footage needs to be like how it used to be in Las Vegas. I don't know if they took that channel away, but there used to be a channel in Las Vegas, Nevada, where you could turn to it and every camera was live. This was 20 years ago. This was 20 years ago. Every camera that they had hooked up around the city was live feed. So you could see cars live driving. And that channel was 24 hours a day. And you could see live footage of every street. So if an accident happened, you watching it live. They took that channel off. That's what they need to do for the police officers. And I say, whenever you go, if you're a tax-paying citizen and you live and you reside, let's say they do it for every resident where they have an actual website where you can log on and you can tap into any officer's live camera footage. And you can see exactly what they're doing. And if they shoot and kill someone, you can't post it, but you can go on there with your log on and see exactly what happened in real fucking time. Especially if you're a taxpayer and you pay taxes in your fucking ward or your county or whatever. That's what they need to start doing. And then you could take that footage, keep a copy, and then when you go to the fucking inquisitions and all that, say, hey, well, this footage don't say that. You lying. Because if it's live, you can't lie. But if it's not live, it's rehearsed. It's edited, pre-edited, edited again, chopped, screwed. Then it's given to the public. And then they wait months and months and months and then wait and then before they show it to people. And then by that time, you done forgot, you done moved on. Stop.
From the time they got out of their cruiser to the time they removed Jones from the car. Faulkner said he could see Jones start to put his hands in his pants and yell to Officer Martier, he's reaching.
See, he's reaching. That's like saying, gun. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to start shooting. They knew that.
He was told to put his hands behind his back 2 times, received non-compliance. Officer Martier said he was trying to keep a hold of Jones's left arm. Officer Faulkner was on Jones's right side and traced his hand along Jones' right arm in an attempt to gain control of his hand, which was still in his waistband. Faulkner said once his hand met Jones's hand, Faulkner's hand was actually on the metal of a gun. And at one point, both he and Jones had their finger in the trigger guard of the gun inside of Jones's baggy pants. Faulkner said when he realized Jones had a gun in his hand, he let go of Jones and pushed him away from him and yelled, he's got a gun, he's got a gun.
What did I tell you? He's got a gun, he's got a gun. Why didn't you tase him?
Gun, as he drew his firearm on Jones. Faulkner said as Jones was going away from him towards the east sidewalk, He saw Jones raise his right elbow upward as he looked over his left shoulder and was turning his body towards Officer Martier. Officer Faulkner said he thought Jones was going to shoot Martier, who...
So you were in fear for your partner's life. The same thing they said about Laquan McDonald. Laquan McDonald had a fucking knife and was 20 feet away from these police officers, and a race officer showed up, guns blazing, and just started dumping on him. That's what the camera footage really showed. And then they looked so dumb and guilty, then they had to just be like, oh, well, we were in fear for our life because he had a gun. Man, I mean, he had a knife. A knife? You never heard he'd never bring a knife to a gunfight? Man, stop. Stop.
Standing directly to Jones's left. Officer Faulkner discharged his firearm 4 times. He radioed for dispatch and told them of the shots fired and requested a squad. After the shots were fired, both Faulkner and Martier yelled for Jones to show his hands. After a few...
So you shot him 4 times and then you still want him to show his hands. Y'all should know a human emotion and reaction. If you get shot 4 times, you ain't going to be able to show your hands, clown. Stop.
Moments of no response, Martier holstered his duty weapon and started to go towards Jones. Faulkner yelled at Martier, "Rich, he's got a gun." Martier responded, "I know, we gotta render aid." Martier rolled Jones onto his back. As Martier rolled Jones over, a gun fell from Jones's right hand. Faulkner again yelled, "Gun, gun, gun." The officers pulled Jones away from the gun, and both Faulkner and Martier immediately began chest compressions on Jones until a squad arrived to transport Jones to the hospital. Mr. Jones was struck once in his lower back, once in his right shoulder blade, and once in his upper mid-back. From the time of the traffic stop to the time of the shots were fired was 1 minute and 7 seconds. A Springfield .45 caliber handgun was found. There was 1 round in the chamber and 5 rounds in the magazine. A vial of liquid was found in Jones's clothing. That vial tested positive for PCP. The toxicology report from the autopsy has not been received as of yet. That usually takes...
See, so basically what they're doing is dirtying up his name. Well, he was on PCP. Well, what if he was having a mental episode? See, white folks want to use therapy and mental health when it's convenient for them. Okay, so what if the PCP had him on a mental episode? Because that's what happened to Daniel Prude. He was having a mental episode and they killed him. So then y'all talking about y'all want us to get therapy and mental health is so important. Y'all got black folk telling black folk mental health is so important. Then why didn't y'all treat him like a mental health patient? He could have been mental. He could have had a mental episode. How do y'all not know that? Because y'all not assessing the situation because y'all run up to the car with y'all guns out. Talk about put your hands out now. Man, you could have spoke from the bullhorn and been like, can everybody please put their hands on outside of the car so we can see it. This is for your safety and our safety. Then you call for your little backup, have your little backup up. You got the spotlight on them, so you should be able to see as much as you can. But no, y'all didn't do that because y'all are 2 white racist motherfuckers who have trained, who have been indoctrinated and socialized and socially engineered that anytime you come across black people, they got a gun. And if they do got a gun, you feel even more vindicated. Like, yeah, he had a gun, so that's why we killed him. That's the biggest gang in United States of America Incorporated, law enforcement. Look at J. Edgar Hoover, who orchestrated the assassination of Fred Hampton, who wrote down the files. You need to go read the book, The Burglary. You need to read that book. It tells you all you need to know about goddamn law enforcement.
Couple weeks. The Omaha Police Department's use of force policy allows for the use of deadly force to protect yourself or another person from serious bodily injury or death. In this incident, the officers faced a very difficult situation with a person with a gun who would not comply with their commands. The officer used deadly force in accordance with our policy.
Because all your policies are written to protect law enforcement. It's written to protect law enforcement, not to protect the people. Because if it was written to protect the people, it'd be less law enforcement shooting black folk, period. No matter if they got a gun or not. What if he had a license to carry the gun? Did you look that up? What if the PCP had him on a mental health episode? You don't know that at all.
Our internal affairs unit will analyze the entire incident.
And internal affairs work for law enforcement. So who's holding the accountable? because they're supposed to hold y'all accountable. Y'all work in the same spot. It's like when they're like, well, the FBI is going to investigate. Man, please, the FBI, and that's the same shit. That's like having the FBI investigate the CIA. Man, it's the same shit. That's why Eric Snowden, that's why they want to kill Eric Snowden, because he started throwing their ass under the bus and telling what the fuck they was really doing.
For any potential secondary violations. We do this because it is our goal to minimize the number of officer-involved shootings that we have in our community. It is a large city, and officers will enter people's lives in the worst possible moments. So there's bound to be some incidents that take place. It's unavoidable statistically. But as a certified department, we are always looking to learn from critical incidents to determine where we can avoid them in the future. If there are other witnesses to this incident, or if there are other videos out there, I'm asking that you get a hold of the Omaha Police Department. We will continue to take and receive any.
Y'all just want to keep all the evidence for yourself. Stop it with the bullshit. Y'all trying to get ahead of the curve to make sure don't nobody upload what the fuck really happened. That's all that shit is. That's some Rodney King shit, because they didn't know they was being filmed beating the shit out of Rodney King. And then when they got busted and the motherfucker had the tape, motherfucker was like, oh shit, well, he was resisting arrest. Man, stop. Y'all beat Rodney King like a goddamn pinata. So stop it with the bullshit.
Evidence on this matter. So as chief, I've watched a lot of videos over the years, and this is one of the most non-compliant situations that I have seen as chief. I can't control what some members of our community will how they will perceive this, and I can't control, and I don't.
So basically, I can't control what black folks say, and I really don't give a fuck. But this is what it is, and I don't give a fuck. Yep, he might be dead, but he should have complied with the law, because that's how they feel.
Know if there's anything that I can say to change anybody's mind, nor am I attempting to. I'm just laying out the facts. And as chief, I've had a number of large, high-profile matters. And my decisions have fell all over the board, because that is each set of circumstances, each incident.
Yeah, now he just white-splaining now. Nah, stop with the bullshit. You just white-splaining now. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. Stop with the bullshit. I think it's very imperative that we understand what the fuck is going on. I really do. I'm gonna play this music while I'm looking for this other video, because I saw another video and they kind of basically had it. Let's see. And will review officer shooting. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what these protesters say first, because you know motherfuckers want to be all in the thing. Let's see what they say first.
Shop over 100.
But we ain't playing no fucking commercials. Got me fucked up. This ain't NBC. Fuck out of here. Let's see. Let's see what they talking about. Now this is the news, and there's people out there protesting, so we gonna see what they talking about.
Tensions escalate in downtown Omaha tonight. Protesters clashed with police following last night's officer-involved shooting.
They murdered one of our community members. They put terror into our community. They need to be held accountable. They should not be protected, and their names need to be put in the papers today.
That was a demonstrator at the downtown police headquarters talking about the two officers involved in the shooting of a 35-year-old black man during a traffic stop. Good evening, MIS Signs. We'll get to the latest on the police shooting in a moment, but first, police are making arrests tonight and telling people to go home after protesters gathered downtown. 3 News Now reporter Ruda tonight kicks off our
Go home.
team coverage. She's live with the latest. Ruda?
Good evening, Maya. Things did start out pretty peaceful here in front of the central headquarters of the Omaha Police Department as protesters gathered to express their outrage over the death of Kenneth Jones. It soon did quickly escalate. So let's take it back and see exactly what happened. Demonstrators gathered in front of the precinct near 15th and Howard around 6 o'clock tonight. People expressed their outrage over the death of Kenneth Jones. They chanted things like, "Say his name" and "Justice for Kenny." Demonstrators said their goal tonight was to hold the police department accountable.
How many times have I been saying this? Who's holding the accountable accountable? Who's holding those people accountable? The people that are picking these police officers, the people that are behind these police unions, the people that are funding the law enforcement. Who's holding those people accountable? Like, you know what? Nah, you're giving too much money to law enforcement. You need to redirect that money to something else. No, you're fired. You got way too many fucking complaints. You got way too much shit going on. No, you're fired. They're not doing that.
And see the body camera footage that we now know was on and recording at the time of the shooting.
We are demanding that they release the video footage right away. Yesterday they should have released it. This morning they should have released it. And this afternoon, tonight, they need to release it. Tomorrow they need to release it. They need to release it ASAP. We cannot take their word for what happened. They're claiming transparency. Well, be transparent and show us the video footage.
Yep. If you're claiming transparency, then it should be live and everybody should be able to access that footage in real time. If it was transparent, it's not transparent. Let me tell you what transparent is to them. We're going to edit, doctor, dummy up the tape, and then show it to y'all niggas. The shit that we want to show y'all. That's their so-called transparency. It's kind of like working for a corporate plantation. They talk about, there ain't no fucking transparency. Well, they up there chopping up the money that they gonna get off the top. They give you the Hansel and Gretel crumbs. That's their transparency. Stop.
It was about 2 hours in, however, when things escalated and arrests started being made. The anger was growing and the situation became confrontational. Officers announced through a loudspeaker that the gathering was, quote, unlawful and that chemical agents would be used if people didn't leave, although we did not see any chemical agents being used or pepper balls. Things stayed dramatic for about a half hour as the police presence grew. Then things slowly calmed back down. Now, again, this demonstrations here tonight were for Kenneth Jones, who died.
She don't even know his name. Kenneth,
During that police stop yesterday, things did escalate. Some arrests were made, but now it looks like most of the protesters have dispersed. Others are still sticking around here on the corners, expressing their frustrations and outrage. For now, reporting live in downtown Omaha, Rudolph Sinaida, 3 News Now.
Now, as Ruda said, Kenneth Jones was shot and killed during a routine traffic stop in South Omaha Thursday night. The Omaha Police Department says it's thoroughly investigating what led to the shooting and providing updated information this evening. 3 News Now reporter Alyssa Curtis continues our team coverage.
oh, here we go with some bullshit.
A routine traffic stop resulted in tragedy Thursday evening.
What did I tell y'all? Every time y'all leave your house, y'all in danger. Remember that. Every time you leave your house, you are in danger. Every time.
After officers shot and killed 35-year-old black man Kenneth Jones. Jones was pulled over with 3 females in a vehicle near 27th and Harrison. According to Omaha police officials, officers yelled for the passengers to put their hands up as they approached the vehicle and noticed Jones moving around the back seat. The 3 female passengers complied, but Jones did not. An officer instructed Jones to open his window and put his hands out. He refused, and one police officer reportedly broke the window with his flashlight to open the door. Once again, Jones
Now, if he was going to do something to him when you broke the window of the car, he could have shot you then. He could have, if he was going to do something to you, he would have done it. But apparently he wasn't going to do it. But y'all so scary, like Officer Yanez, or the officer that killed Oscar Grant, or Darren Wilson. Who else do I need to name? Or the 2 officers that killed Alton Sterling, or maybe that wicked, coward, white supremacist that killed Walter Scott and shot him like 5 times in the back and then tried to plant a fucking weapon on him. Or that white police officer that damn near broke Sandra Bland's arm. Need I go on? Do I fucking go on? What about the brother that was in Baltimore, Freddie Gray? Who else? We can keep naming them. What about Eric Gardner? Officer Pantaleo, who fucking had him in a chokehold the whole time because you just didn't like because he's a big black man that wasn't afraid of you because you was a police officer, so you choked him to fucking death. You know, that type of bullshit. Probably an immigrant. Probably a 1st or 2nd gen immigrant that shouldn't even fucking be here. And then want to get to tell you about some Italian roots and all this other shit and how your family came here to this country with $1 to this name. Well, why don't you get back on the boat and go the fuck back there? That's the shit that I get tired of. It's all this bullshit going on, and the motherfucker want to tell me, oh, it's police reform. And you know, police, man, stop. Every time a nigga get killed, oh, we're going to fight for police reform. Stop.
Refused to comply, and one officer attempted to pull Jones out of the car. Things then escalated.
The party then exited the vehicle, and once he did, officers observed a weapon and announced the weapon, and a struggle ensued. During that struggle, one of the officers discharged his firearm, and the suspect was struck.
According to an OPD press release, one officer yelled, "He's digging," and repeatedly shouted, "Gun."
But did y'all interview the 3 female passengers that was in the car? Exactly, because they get no credit. They have nothing. So this is just about demonizing Kenneth Jones so they can use it as an excuse. Like, well, yeah, we killed him because he didn't comply with the law. Well, y'all killing niggas when they do comply with the law. So why does it matter? That's why, just like people don't even know. They don't even, look, just to let y'all know, they used a gang member to kill Nipsey Hussle. That guy was a pawn that they used to kill him, and they used that whole situation because they didn't want Nipsey Hussle over there. They didn't want him owning that shit. And to this day, they've been trying to get his ass, his store, his legacy, the fuck off Crenshaw. They don't even want him around that motherfucker. But they can act like they do. They don't give a fuck about no goddamn Nipsey Hussle. Because if that's the case, why the fuck don't we know about Eric Holder and what the fuck is going on with his case? Why is that shit not, why are we not being abreast on that shit? Look at Ghislaine Maxwell, the white woman that was a pedophile that was funneling underage girls to Jeffrey Epstein, along with Bill Clinton and all the rest of these motherfuckers. Why don't we know what's going on with this concealed files? But they'll show us R. Kelly and Bill Cosby every fucking chance that they get. But we don't know shit about Harvey Weinstein in his case. Nothing. We know nothing about Ghislaine Maxwell. But we know a whole hell of a lot about Aura.Kelly all fucking day. The same shit we've been knowing for the last 20, 30 years. The same shit about Bill Cosby. But when it comes down to Ghislaine Maxwell, we don't know anything. This is how it works. That's why I'm tired of people saying, well, you know, because they got money. Not really. Bill Cosby got hella money. And his ass is fucking behind bars. So I don't want to hear that shit. Stop. They're using a scapegoat for a black every time. Get a nigga. Bring a nigga in here.
One officer fired 4 shots and Jones fell to the floor. He was transferred to Nebraska Medicine where he later died.
He was dead on the scene.
No one else in the incident was hurt.
He was dead on the scene, just like the last one I did a podcast about. Them black people wild out on the dude that was speaking. They was like, he was already dead before y'all picked him up. Before the ambulance picked him up, he did. He died on the scene. They always talking about he later died at the hospital. Because it sounds better. That's bullshit. He was dead when they got there. Just like Mike Brown was dead when they got there. And they be pretending like they doing chest compressions and shit. Stop.
A loaded handgun was found on the ground under Jones. Both officers were wearing body cameras that were on and recording. The marked squad car also captured the beginning of the incident. The 2 officers involved are on paid administrative leave as the police department investigates. Their names have yet to be released. Mayor Stother addressed the incident Friday.
Mayor Stother, a white woman.
Morning.
Our numbers of officer-involved shootings are very, very low, and we want it to stay that way. And
okay, so what does that mean? Oh, well, we only killed 1 nigga this year, so, you know, stop.
When something like that happens, of course, we want to assure everybody that we will thoroughly investigate every bit of it.
Thoroughly investigate means we're going to thoroughly do our best to cover up the shit that we don't want y'all to see and give y'all the shit we want y'all to see. That's what that means.
We will make as much public so that the public will know what was going on as we possibly can.
The highly requested body cam footage is something the mayor says can't be released by OPD right now.
Was some body camera video. They will be reviewing that.
So why you can't release it? Because you're about to doctor it, dummy it up, and edit it.
It is not up to the police department to release body camera video if there's going to be a grand jury investigation, which there will be.
In Omaha, Alyssa Curtis, 3 News Now.
Stop it. I'm telling y'all right now, man. Y'all motherfuckers better wake the fuck up. That's all I got to say. Y'all better wake the fuck up. know what the fuck is going on. Stop playing games. Stop thinking it's sweet. Because life ain't sweet the way you think. Stop going along with the fucking get along bullshit. Stop thinking that, oh, well, you know, it's all good and things is going to change, because ain't shit going to change unless we take matters into our own motherfucking hands. That's real. So I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, he was digging for his gun. He had a gun. How y'all know he's going to shoot? How you know he's going to use it on y'all? You don't know what the fuck was going to happen. But they sold gun and all this other shit. You know why? Because the majority of law enforcement, they're cowards. These are the riffraff that didn't make it in life. So now they want to go fucking be a police officer because they didn't have no power and they couldn't get no bitches. I'm just keeping it a buck. And they couldn't get no real job because their parents ain't had no clout. Because most people that got bread, they're not finna be trying to be no fucking police officer. Most people that got college degrees and shit like that, they're not trying to do that shit. They're trying to go make it do what it do. It's the riffraff, the niggas that went to the army and got fucked over in the army and they come back. They can't do shit else. So fuck it, I might as well go be in law enforcement. And then, matter of fact, you're giving white supremacists guns and the law to back them. So what the fuck you think is gonna happen? So while y'all sitting up here jumping around and jumping for joy for cop Kamala Harris and Joe fucking 94 crime bill Biden, this is the fucking reform that you gonna get every day, all day, every day. And it's gonna happen for the next 4 years, and it's gonna be so fucked up, people gonna wish Donald Trump was in office, because they gonna like, damn, these motherfuckers are some wicked people. Because they acting like they really for people of color, which is a broad and ambiguous term that don't mean shit about black folk, but we fucking built the country. That's why I was on the phone. I was on Twitter, and some motherfucker had the nerve to be like, "Oh, well, the Irish and the Chinamen built the railroads." No, they didn't. And some of the things that I said, well, you need to read this book or read that book. But motherfucker don't give you no book to read, but they can go off what somebody didn't tell you. You know why? Let me tell you, because white folks have been in control for so long that they feel like everything they say is a matter of facts. And anything that you say that is contrarian or oppositional is a problem. So if that's the case, then y'all need to start doing y'all history and understand exactly what the fuck is going on. And these laws and policies are written to keep black folk behind the line. And you can learn the law, go learn the law. And then when they change the goalposts, don't be, oh, okay, all right. Because motherfuckers act like just learn the law. Go ahead, nigga. But let me tell you something. If you're a threat and they police stereotypes, you're a threat. And you can't, and learning the law ain't gonna change none of that shit. That's a fact. If you're out there hanging out, doing some bullshit, and sitting up here protecting your slave masters and giving up excuses of why they treat black folks the way they do, and you black, guilty nigga, you a Sambo. I'm out. Peace.